Welcome back. So, Prof, tell us, what is your plan, your party's plan for women and youths in the country?
Well, I think let me start from the general. One, as you are aware, one of the popular debates in Nigeria is that some of these political parties do not have ideology. That's a popular argument. And I believe it maybe is a misconception because every organization, and certainly every political party, should have a philosophy, a body of ideas that governs its conduct and how it reaches out to the people and offer them the kind of service they can offer. Therefore, if you look at the pattern that SDP represents, you like the center-left, it's not just talking about democracy, about the freedom to vote and to be voted for, but beyond that, what is there on the table? Is it the responsibility of a Nigerian just to go and vote and then go and sit down and wait until another 4 years to come and vote? It should not be that. By the end of this year's election, Nigeria will spend 20 years running a full democratic system in this country, which has never happened in the history of this country. So while the struggle over these years has been about rise to for election and strengthening the electoral system, strengthening the parliamentary system, strengthening the party system, and even the media, which are major actors in the democratic process, we are now moving towards offering the ordinary Nigerian what he should get if he elects his leadership. And that includes getting water, healthcare services, education for his children, even basic transport. So this is supposed to be given. Now, if the party does not work around providing this, that means that it has not achieved the objective if it will merely give the right to vote, and then that's the end of the story. So, and as we are aware, the most vulnerable group in our society today are the women and then the youth. The women, as we know, is like double disadvantage. First, some of them come from rural communities, which is highly disadvantaged either in terms of access to education and social welfare services. And then at the same time, some of them are also treated as women, and therefore they do not belong to the system. Everything is done as if to patronize them, you know, to more or less give them tokenism. I think SDP is moving away from tokenism. Women should be involved because they are the other half of the society. And if they are not developed, they are not empowered, they are not encouraged to participate in the system, and therefore we are leaving the other half of our society outside the system. And that's why SDP is giving a lot of attention to that. Indeed, in our own constitution, the woman leader is not only the woman leader of the party, but also the speaker of the Women's Assembly. Okay, therefore, women are supposed to be mobilized and organized to be active and involved at every level of the political process.
Professor Alkali,
there's something also
the things you've talked about, Prof, if I may come in here, they sound like the statements made by other political parties. We're going to take care of the women, we're going to take care of the youth, we're going to create jobs, we're going to build roads, we're going to make sure you get water and healthcare service. These are all the rhetorics that other political parties have put out there for the electorate and Nigerian people. What makes your statement or your submission different from the others that Nigerians have heard?
I think you are right. Nigerians have had a lot of stories from politicians over the years. Therefore, I agree with you that whatever a politician says, it's always people take it with a pinch of salt. There's always suspicion, that feeling that we have had this before, and we have passed through this way again. But SDP, the way we are coming out, like I said, under the leadership of Chief Olufalaye, and the kind of leadership we have, which are most of them very young and active, highly educated, highly mobilized, they will not allow this kind of thing to happen. This is a new social contract with the Nigerian people. And that we are saying that we have to look ahead in the next 20 years. How will Nigeria look like? Is it just enough to talk about voting, like I said at the beginning of this, our conversation? It's not enough. That they must be empowered. I was talking about youth. You know, for example, today, the youth constitute a significant percentage of the Nigerian population. And most of them still are on the fringe of the society. Some of them are not getting sufficient education, or good education, or quality education. Some of them are not involved in the economy directly. Therefore, you can see that with this kind of sector, very huge, not properly integrated into the system, they become available for recruitment for all kinds of crimes in this country. And today you have been seeing it all over the place. People who ordinarily should not be involved in criminal activities find themselves in criminal activities. It is not magic. People should go back to ask questions. Why are these people involved in this kind of activities? Because they are not involved, and they should be involved. So we are saying that this is a new social contract, and it's our own word is our own bond. So I think we don't have to use the characterization of others and say, okay, it's all the same. It can never be the same, because everybody has his own stand on how to deal with the issues in this country as we move forward from now.
Yeah, so, but what is your party going to leverage on? Because we're on listening, as well-intentioned as your proposals may seem for the women and youth, very integral members of the society, but you don't have any governor, members in the National Assembly. How are you going to leverage to even make an impact in 2019?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the SDP of the past, Chamberlain. It has changed. Over the past 1 year or so, the SDP has transformed into a massive movement nationwide. But we have been doing it very quietly, because we believe that making noise does not serve any purpose. A lot of work has been done and is going on. And virtually every state in the Federation, you find that we have people who have emerged, young people, women, who have emerged as either members of House of Assembly, House of Representatives, Senate, governors, and even presidential candidates. We had a convention in October. So nothing is left behind. And that this more or less like the entire system have to work together. There's no one part that will be left behind. But we are looking ahead. Of course, we know that there are challenges. But we cannot run away from challenges, because this is our country. If you don't do it, who will do it for us? We must do it. And since democracy provides the platform and the opportunity for people to come on board, including the women, the youth, including even the disadvantaged, everybody must be involved so that Nigeria can move forward. We are tired of people sitting down, complaining, agonizing, complaining, condemning people. No. We must move forward. We must make the difference. And SDP is going to do the trick, the magic. And by the time we finish the election in the coming 50 days or so, we'll see the difference, and Nigeria will understand where we are.
Well, we just wonder what kind of magic that is going to be now, because it's SDP, I mean, as we've seen in previous elections, and as several people you know as well, you have to have party agents in different polling units for the presidential election, for instance, across the entire country. Is your party, are you going to be able to leverage or withstand or match up the mechanisms or machinery, as they always say, for that of the ruling party and the PDP?
I'm sure you would not encourage me to tell you here our own plans of action. I'm sure you will not encourage me, because tactically
we won't mind if you tell us.
So we are working around the clock to address all those issues. So I don't think I will need to make this available to any party to just pick it from channels and go and use it against us.
Well, would your party be looking at the possibility of any coalition or partnerships in the next elections?
Well, I think it's normal in all democracies, whether parliamentary democracies, presidential system, is normal, either before, during election period. Parties may decide to come together and who share maybe some common ideals, but because of their own individual party identity, they do not want to surrender those identities. As we are aware, there was a time about 39 political parties from the CUPP, And we believe at that time it was good to have a CUPP so that all the political parties will come together and work together for the common good of this country. I think we went very far, but there were some missteps. So SDP was a bit worried. He didn't want to lose his identity as much as he wants to work within a group. So I think the SDP is restrategizing within the context of evolving a political process. And these are things that are behind the scene discussion and the conversation. It's not something that also we talk about at this point in time. But we know that it's important that if there is a discussion between groups, whether there are two or more, it should be based on goodwill and trust, and that no individual political party should take advantage either of his size or of his strength or whatever is assumed is advantage over the others to now begin to assume that it has more or less overshadowed the others. Because like we already asked at the beginning here, that if you are able to do any arrangement at the top, at the center, now if you don't do that properly and then step down to the various levels at the state and the state level, then you find that some political party will lose relevance because the impression will be created that, well, haven't considered so much at the national level, then it means that all those who are standing for election at the various level would have been, sold out. And we have told our people that SDP is coming out, is going to stand for election at all levels. But the details of what can be done between now and the final day of election is a strategic matter that can be discussed at the appropriate time and the appropriate place. All right, then, Professor Rufai Alkali, member of the National Working Committee of the SDP. We wish you all the best, and thank you for joining us today. All right, so we're back in a moment. Stay with us.